finally left. I heard the ogres outside, tearing down walls and murdering folk. Don't remember how things got this bad. But you're the new adventurer, Renengild's latest volunteer. Did you say something, dear? Me? I was the overseer at the mine, back when it was running. Got shut down decades ago when we couldn't sell or ship the stuff. But I still remember plenty about the mining business. And I got as many folk as I can digging out the entrance. Been praying to the salty wench that I don't forget too much afore they finish the job. Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
Don't see the harm. Building's thirsty work. Figured you'd be out of here in a flash after the fighting died down. Most people don't stick around after they figure out the ogres are making regular visits. I would have helped fight them monsters off, you know, if I didn't think I'd just get in the way. And with you there to handle things, everything turned out well enough, didn't it? Oh, Havrick's the innkeeper over at the Grave's Rest. I may have been hiding in the inn when the fighting started. The raid didn't improve his disposition any. Did you know he has a whole case of Fenlin liquor in there? I keep offering to buy it off him, but he says he's saving it up for when the batteries open again. As if we're gonna last that long. Anyhow, he said he'd thrash me up and down the mountain if I didn't leave him be. They say a single drop changes your life. You'll never want to have a drink of anything else. Probably that's all rubbish, but it's supposed to be very good. It's delusional is what it is. Point of fact, what with you dealing with ogres and everything, maybe you'd, you know, be willing to help me out. Havrick keeps all the good stock in the inn cellar. Out of sight, you see. I mean, it's bound to be under lock and key, but I'm sure he wouldn't miss a single bottle. Not with everything that's going on. Well, Havrick can be a little intimidating when it comes to his beverages. But otherwise, not much, I guess. Sure, all right. But if you happen to come across some, maybe you'll let me know? Sure, ask away. Not sure what I can tell you, though. I haven't been here half as long. Truth is, I couldn't care less about the town, or the mines. But I like the people. Hardy bunch, living up here in the cold. Shame feels like everything's conspiring to chase us out of here sometimes. Just means the ones of us that are left are the most stubborn-headed, right? Me? Well, I used to build houses. These days I do this and that. Get work at the fishery sometimes, mending nets. Right now I'm helping with the stockades. The ogres keep us busy. I'm from Ina's Rest originally. Not so far from your Cadnua, actually. A little ways east. Nice lake nearby. A little like the one here. I heard some business went down with Lord Radric. Might have ended up tithing to you instead if I were still there, my lord. Right. Anything else then?
What's this, Itamak?
It must be soon. 2 days, no more. I'm sorry. Didn't hear you come in. My ears aren't what they used to be. I'm Thiersch. I've lived here long enough that Kith have started calling me the Old Hunter. It wasn't the ogres, I can tell you that. Put a few arrows in one of those and they generally have the good sense to back off. But I've been hunting this wolf for near a year now. A man-eater. Cunning, nasty thing. Every time I get close, the beast has already claimed many lives. The first victim was my son, Saldrin. Got the better of me this last time. Distracted me long enough for one of its kin to turn up. Nearly bit me clean in half. No ordinary wolf. A monster. This creature is big. And I see the signs it leaves behind. Doesn't always finish its meals. Damn thing might be sick. In any case, it needs to be put down. It roams the russet wood out to the west. Seems to have decided the lake is a good plan. It's picked off some scattered ogres from time to time. Nothing to tell. Near misses, all of them. One time he clambered right up the cliffs to avoid. I nearly had him once. I could hear him below, eating. He charged headlong into the tree to get at me. Nearly knocked me off my perch. It needs doing. But I warn you, this beast is not to be trifled with. It must make its lair some... Watch yourself on the mountain. In these lean times, coming to your elders for advice, is it? What can I do for you? Well, I can tell you it won't be here much longer if things go on as they are. We're losing people every month. Too many mouths to feed, and I've been lucky. I've hides and horns enough to keep the traders happy, but now the ogres are picking the rest of us off. The moment we started looking into Durgan's battery, it was like we made a good showing against that last group, by the way. I think you've given them been a colder season than usual, and the elk herds aren't faring well, not to mention the occasional beast. We've lost a lot of young. It has. We had some hope in the early days. Not everyone's been so unlucky, of course. Long hours checking snares and waiting out elk, mostly. Used to hunt some of the big ones, which means keeping Stalwart fed, or else keeping it safe. Thing is,
working! Yes! I can't believe it! It's really... Oh. My ore locating divination tool. Well, that's what it will be. I have to calibrate it. Right now it seems to think you're a copper deposit. My Animancer contacts did suggest that a particular strong soul essence might interfere. I'm more interested in minerals in any case. I suppose that's possible. It's not exactly what I'm looking for, unfortunately. I'm trying to recreate the instruments that first led the Parkland dwarves to this mountain. This is my latest prototype. Centuries ago, dwarves carrying tools just like this one followed their readings to what is now the battery. If I can recreate their work, then I may be able to find ore deposits elsewhere. I was hoping to test it, but my arrival was delayed by word of the ogre attack. I haven't been able to find anyone to venture up the mountain since. Really? That'd be wonderful. I just have to adjust the device, you see. It should point you toward metal deposits. We already know the battery rests on some rich veins, but I was hoping to get a reading of the surrounding mountainside. If you can follow the readings to ore and bring back a sample, I can use it to... Thanks ever so much for...
Huh, that's what I get for asking directions in the middle of nowhere. Say, I don't suppose you've seen any mysterious old buildings in the mountains lately, have you? No, but I've heard that name a lot around here. I'm looking for the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. It's an obscure temple dedicated to Andra. I'm a gift bearer. My job is to gather tokens of things people want forgotten and surrender them to the Lady of Lament. Best place to do that is the Abbey of the Fallen Moon. Anything that represents a moment or a memory someone wishes to leave behind. Well, love notes, awkward family heirlooms, bad poetry, the kinds of things you want to forget. Well, you throw some things into the sea, and maybe they wash up on shore one day. But you want something really good and forgotten. The Abbey's all about forgetting. Wouldn't be much forgetting if I told you about it. I might be here a while. Half the villagers have never heard, so I'm trying to think of this as an extended holiday. In a remote mining village that smells like fish. You won't regret it. I've got...
Farewell.
Fresh fish! Freshly caught!
That smell's never washing off.
Back to work, everyone. No time for dallying. A fine thing you reached us when you did. They would have burned the fishery next, mark my words. And the last thing this lot needs is another excuse to knock off early. Anyway, excuse the mess. If there's something you need, the clerk can get you. Just watch your step if you've a mind to look around. The floors are slick and none too pleasant to fall on. Been running it 4 decades now. Reckon I can tell you what you want to know. It may stink of fish guts, but there's no place more herds come and go, so there's seasons when our catch sustains the village. But try telling these folk as much. We go home each day covered to the elbows in fish. Stalwart's shrinking, but it would disappear if we lost the fishers. I drive 'em hard, but I can't afford to do other. Just about everything. I track the day's catches and see that our nets and hooks are in working order. My family's been in charge of the fishery since the early days of Stalwart. I know the best spots to find frost dive or an iron-toothed pike. Need anything else?
You must forgive Zawa. I was not expecting you. Resting my eyes, I thought. Waiting for the Malkachoa to bring me. It would seem I dozed. Good thing my master... Are you real? Of course. I meant no offense. But I find it is best to ask. A small white mushroom. It can reveal the true nature of many things. A teacher, not an owner. Zawa is a free man. Well, I was freeing myself. Consider, how can one be vain who is bathed in the smell of dead fish? I had the idea when I passed this way earlier. Yes, quite pleased. From battle, yes. I left them upon my enemies. These were struck against fear. These against pleasure. These against hatred. These were for vanity. I cannot take credit for all of them. But I put them there in battle to remind myself what is our worst enemies are inventions of the mind. Pleasure, fear. I feel I have been close. In the moment when the pain is sharpest, the world becomes clear. In that moment, of course, I am fortunate to have suffered so much. I would wander from one unfulfilling goal, but to search for a place beyond suffering's reach is to nurture the soul. Suffering is the greatest gift the gods have given. Gods, no. The usual way is to smear yourself with the ashes of the dead. But they do not burn their dead here. So The cold seems to come. I was visiting a monastery not far from here. I found it empty. He carried a call for aid. Seeing that Zawa is no longer young, but in combat he is still the greatest of the Takan people. It seemed only right that he should go. I would not say I am hired. I seek no wage. I have chosen a path. And this fortress, this Durgan's battery, its people are gone. Zawa would know why. If one wishes to swim, it is we are here together in this moment because of perfect force. I will walk with you so long as the gods wish it so.
Feels like it's hardly worth putting the huts back up.
Better than standing out here shivering.
Me and Sledge are thinking about heading down, joining a caravan over to Dawning.
Dawning? What for? You like your ogres bigger?
We'd have work at least, and I'm damn sick of fish.
If it's okay, I'm gonna wait by that fire there while you do that thing with the battery.
Excuse me, was there something you need? Something I can do for you? Halfrick's got me straight.
No offense, but I already paid Halfrick for this room.
Owena! Go check on that Orlin. Make sure he don't steal nothing.
Oh, it's you. I'm so glad you came by. I hoped I'd have the chance to thank you. They told me what happened. God's bless you, sir. I know it was foolish of me to run in there. But this ring is all that I have of my family. Sentiment, mostly. When he first settled here, my grandfather had a ring. It was supposed to commemorate his fresh start. He passed it on to his daughter. Oh, I'm managing. Fenway's letting me stay with her until I'm back on my feet. It was hard seeing what's left of the house. But Rayvald says he's going to see a hut raised for me soon as they get funny. Rayvald was just in here asking if Averick has some, but he says the Fenland stuff's not for sale. And he's rigged up the cellar like a battlefield trying to keep it. Sorry. If anyone deserves a drink, it's you, sir. But I don't think I could convince him. Oh, you don't know Haverick. He's liable to count them every... Listen, Haverick showed me how one of the traps worked, so I wouldn't get too close if I had to. Just give me a little time. And please don't get... I'll have to sneak down when the cook's not looking.
Ooh, still can't feel my fingers. Thought I'd found shelter when I stumbled across this little village. Guessing you did too, huh? As much blood as there was in the streets, I'm lucky the ale's still flowing. Thought all the whispers about Durgan's battery were just village superstition. I was part of an expedition, hunting for relics from Durgan's battery. So it figures that's when the winds pick up and the sky took Liam out before we even realized we were surrounded. And then we see him coming out of the snow. Quick little bastards. Francesca and I held them off as long as we could, but when they found my way here, and thank my luck for escaping the Logothal, I need to get those artifacts. Not that I'm in any shape to go after them myself. But I can't afford to return to define. But you've got your own expedition to the battery, don't you? I'll give you a cut for anything you bring back, of course. I ain't asking for charity. I just can't. Like I said, we were treasure hunting near Durgan's battery when we were ambushed. What else do you want to know? Who? No, that would have been somebody else. We didn't meet with Renengild, or anyone else in town for that matter. We took out several loans to pay for our trip out here. I'm gonna have trouble if I don't pay them back. What's left of it should be near Durgan's battery. If you stumble across just that it's been locked up tight for 200, which means that any trinkets from inside fetch a nice price. Sorry, I'm more...
I'll have to sneak down when the cook's not looking. I'll have to sneak down when the cook's not looking.
Never seen such a bloodbath. Feels like we got half the town's survivors in here. But you must be looking for some refreshment, too, after the way you handled them ogres. Or perhaps a room. Say the word and I'll give that shifty little Orlin the boot. Showed up a few days ago. Sticks his nose out of the back room just long enough to empty his chamber. Up to no good, I tell you. I'd like nothing more than to see him gone, but I don't want to... I'd appreciate it. And I suppose I don't need to remind you that I don't want you to hurt him. Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you? Nothing like a pint. Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you? Top quality bear pelts on it.
Oh, sorry. I must have been dreaming. No, it's nothing. Sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you. Good night. I'm sorry about last night. There's something I should tell you.